So the way that desire functions, when it's functioning properly and in a natural way, is it functions through the faculties of specificity and discernment. So I promise you this is all tying back to like sex, okay? This is sort of the place where I wonder if people wonder what we're talking about. But we're weaving our way. Desire functions through specificity and discernment. It is those two faculties that allow us to be unique. If we're not moving through our life with a level of discernment or specificity in what it is that we desire, we would all be the same person wanting the same thing, doing the same things all the time. We wouldn't actually have any uniqueness that was differentiating us. Nature, by its very definition, is like an incredibly diverse, specific entity. There are no two living things that are identical. There are no two trees that are the same. There are no two snowflakes that are the same. I mean, how mind-boggling is that? Think of a snowstorm, and there's not a single snowflake in that that's the same as another snowflake. That is a mind-blowing amount of specificity and uniqueness that is inherent inside of nature in its creation. It is specificity that allows for us to be born and move into our lives with a kind of uniqueness that reflects who it is that we actually are. When we don't move through our life with specificity and discernment, we lose our way really quickly. We begin to feel like we don't know what it is that we desire. We might not feel like we want anything, or we might feel like we want everything. That there's actually nothing that feels like is the seed of the world that is ringing for us specifically. And I don't mean that in like a narcissistic, like egotistical way. I mean that in a sort of like tuning fork kind of a way. That the world is singing out to us, and each of us are attracted to different things in the world because of resonance. We are drawn, wow, that is an experience, a person, a subject, a thesis topic, a conversation, a baby, a partner, a job that really turns me on. Turns me on. That is because that's connected to vital energy. We are connected to that turn of phrase through like what it is that sexually turns us on. It's the same thing when we're talking about what is it that turns you on in your life. Because that's the thing that is giving you something that is resonating a big yes for you. That's the thing that is helping you connect with your uniqueness as a person in this world. With a sort of conversation with life that feels like you have an eye that you're seeing the world with in a very specific kind of way. You're seeing a very specific kind of beauty. You're drawn to the things you're drawn to because you love them. And that's why we love the people around us. Think about the people we love because they're just so themselves. And the millions of reasons that means. All the nuances about them, of their unique humanity that makes them who they are. So when we are in tune with that resonance, we gain energy. There's more energy available to us. And the way that energy tends to translate is as joy, as vitality, as brightness, as creativity, as generosity. All of these things that we don't tend to think about in terms of sex and sexual energy. But that energy at its very root, because it is life energy, it is the energy that brought us here, by very nature, sexual energy is joyful, creative, playful, curious, innocent, wondrous, generous. It's incredibly generous energy. It is it's procreation. It is creative energy. What creative energy does is it creates something that wasn't there 2 seconds before. Whether that's a beautiful painting, whether that Art comes through the way you mother your child, whether it's the way you put a meal on the table, whether it's a thing that you write, it's poetry, whether your creation is the way that you interact with people at your job. That's a creative force that we give out into the world. That is connected to our sexual energy, to our intimacy, to the fundamental energy that allows us to move through the world.